Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. What we have here is another video. I'm going to shoot back downstairs to show you guys, but we had to pop in a new temperature pressure gauge and also a new expansion tank. And what was happening when we got down here, the customer, I think we replaced the relief valve here, I want to say maybe last year, but this customer said that everything, the heat is working fine, nothing's leaking, but the customer said that I want to say about 2 weeks ago, she heard a whistling sound at the boiler, and she took a video, and I immediately knew that the relief valve was opening up. So I told her, and this is the old gauge, the old TP gauge that was on the unit. I told her, I'm like, hey, take a video. I just want to know what that sound is. As soon as she took the video of the sound, I knew instantly that the relief valve was opening up. And she told me that the temperature in the boiler was normal, between 160 to 180, but the pressure wasn't going up. It was at 0. And I'm like, I don't know what to trust, either the relief valve or the gauge. But I'm like, if that relief valve is opening up, then it's certainly for a reason. And that relief valve is only 1 year old. I think the old relief valve was leaking from the threads. We had to replace the valve, but at the time, you know, the expansion tank, everything was okay a year ago. But as soon as I got here, you guys can hear that this expansion tank was almost all the way full of water. And if you guys don't know, from thermodynamics, when temperature rises, the pressure rises, and vice versa. And on a boiler system, whenever the burners turn on, the temperature goes up. In relation to temperature, the pressure goes up as well. And if you don't have an expansion tank on the system to take on that added pressure, then that relief valve is gonna pop open every time. Now, that was the first thing. We had to replace the expansion tank, but the customer did say she's seen this happen one time where the pressure was just hunting. It was just jumping around. Now, putting 2 and 2 together, that expansion tank definitely had to get replaced. But we also popped in a new gauge as well, because here's the thing about it. And I was telling the customer, it's really funny on these, like I said, on certain systems, when you have compound issues, you can have one problem hot behind another. And like I said, with experience, guys, sometimes doing one thing is just not worth it, because you know inevitably it's always going to lead to, like I said, that second or third part going. I just told the customer, hey, you know, I understand. And I broke down to her as far as with the expansion tank, but with the pressure gauge here, I told her I definitely wouldn't trust this pressure gauge, because I told her, based on how full this expansion tank was, that hunting from the relief valve opening and closing, it might have did something to the pressure part of this gauge, because as soon as I put the new gauge on and filled it up, pressure instantly went up. But remember, when I got here, the relief valve was making a noise, but the PSI wasn't going up. So messed up expansion tank actually caused the gauge to malfunction. And like I said, we popped both of them in, and right now everything is rocking and rolling. So, and like I said, guys, biggest thing is, like I said, this customer already has a maintenance agreement with us. Biggest thing you guys want to do is, like I said, you know, you never want to get nearsighted when you do a maintenance, and for sure you don't want to get nearsighted when you make a repair, because like I said, you know, if customer spends time out of their day, like I said, most of, if not all of our customers work or they have busy schedules. You just want to make sure, like I said, you can make the best of your time. And like I said, most customers, and especially me as a consumer, you know, whenever I get something done, if someone tells me, hey, you know, I know this part name A is bad, but guess what, part B, you know, is definitely not looking too good either. And like you said, you know, that's my thing. I'm a time and efficiency type of guy. You know, as you guys know, I rise and grind, and I like to rock and roll. You know, I don't like to waste time going back to something that should have been done, like I said, months or years ago. But like I said, guys, I always just break this down to customers. Like, hey, you know, when these breakdowns happen, it's always going to happen, like I said, when you guys least expect it. And as you can see, it's already starting to snow out here. So, but guys, I'm going to shoot downstairs. I just had to give you the breakdown. But I'm gonna shoot downstairs. I'm gonna show you guys the new gauge and the new expansion tank. I'll see you guys in a little bit.